Well, the overall benefits, again, are to do with putting the nervous system back in charge and putting good balance back in the nervous system. It's about entrainment. If you get the nervous system pulsing really well, strong enough, slow enough, powerful enough, that tidal flow will tend to smooth out the choppy waves of everyday life. That's the basic idea. And the practitioner can help that entrainment process just by holding that person in an appropriate way. So that's the main sort of overall benefit. But when you start in this work, the first thing that you notice about people when they're being held in that cranial way, when they're being shaped into, as it were, and not being manipulated anymore, but being held securely in the way that they hold themselves, what people tend to do then is they start to complete the action for which the embodied alarm or shock was first mobilized. We're looking to complete the natural survival response that people are hanging on to. And the best way to do that is to get the nervous system moving really well and to eliminate any blocks in the nervous system to good functioning in the nervous system. And once you do that, then the instinct, the emotion, the thoughts come into line. And the nervous system has sort of three layers. It has got the cognitive layer, that big brain. It's got an emotional layer, which we call the limb or the limbic system. And it's got a brain stem and spinal cord, which we call the reptilian brain or the R system, which is our most primitive sort of brain, which is automatic, autonomic, we would say in the textbooks. Those three layers need to come into sync before the rest of the body can come into sync, whether it's breathing, heart, or metabolic cycles or whatever. Those three layers have got to be in sync. And when we're traumatized, those three layers become disassociated. So you have a young ruffian trapped in a state of alarm, performs a violent act, feels no emotion, and can't connect to good and evil at all, and keeps repeating it. That child is disconnected. The R system is functioning, he's still alive, he's breathing, he's eating, he's going to the toilet. The autonomic nervous system is still there, but it's not connecting through the emotions into the cognitive space. So feels no guilt, doesn't understand in concepts what he's done, is disconnected. And the mark of embodied trauma is disconnection. And to hold and to be held cranially is to facilitate reconnection. And quite often, the person will go through the actual physical action of completion with what we call intentional movement. And really, it's subconscious movement. The baby, for example, trapped in a state of shock, will curl up in an extreme fetal position and hold that position and almost turn blue and almost stop breathing, and then gradually unwind and start to cry and scream, alarm, coming from the shock back into the alarm and then eventually to full health. The alarmed little child will go into a tantrum again and again and again and again as long as it's healthy. It'll keep having tantrums. And we hold that child into that tantrum. We make that tantrum work. We carry that tantrum right where it needs to go, right into the blocks. We let the tantrum work where it needs to work. And in this way, to complete the flight or fight response. Such children will actually kick as if they were running. They will fight as if they were fighting someone off. They will grab and hold as tight as you please, holding their arm right out into space. They'll backward bend, they'll twist, They'll do somersaults. They'll go through what looks like rebirthing right on the table as part of their completion response. So, and we all know this from our own lives. Those of us who have got children will have had a child who takes a knock, comes and holds the knock tight, and runs to mama, jumps on the lap, and expects to be held. And we hold, and there's a discharge. There's a space of safety. The child discharges it. And although it still hurts, and maybe needs a Band-Aid, maybe needs more, it may need more. Immediately, as soon as the child is discharged, back out to play again. If that child can't discharge it, the child won't dare go out into that playground again. So basically, on our table and doing cranial work, we're holding in such a way as to reassure and to create the environment where the body completes a survival response and doesn't need to hang on to it anymore and can face life again with a fresh perspective. Much like that baby who comes out and goes straight to the mother and resolves the alarm of birth right there on her chest.